All right, so the moment is here.
It's here.
It's time to take this turkey to the table. So once it comes out of the oven, you can present it whole like that if you'd like to bring it to the table for the showstopper moment. Fragrant herbs, always a nice touch. If you'd like to present it at the table like so, that's always a nice thing to do, to just even present it before you cut it so that people can appreciate the beauty of the turkey. And then what we'll do is break it down on the board, and we're gonna use a nice warm, heavy skillet to keep the meat warm. So I'll carve the turkey and lay it out in the skillet and show you how that is gonna work on. Sorry, I got lost. I gotta start over again. No, not all the way. Just wherever I started stammering. Somewhere in between coffee 6 and 7.
Wait. Okay.
We rolling? So we've got the whole turkey. We're gonna break this thing down and take it to a warm cast iron skillet so that you can present it at the table. If you'd like to show it whole, beautiful. Otherwise, we're gonna bring it to the cutting board. I like to use the same thing we use for barbecue, and this is just a serrated knife. You can use a bread knife. If it has a large tooth, sometimes they can be a little bit aggressive, but most of the knives, they cut really well, especially the skin when it comes out of the smoker can be a little thick. So I like to use this. If you have a very sharp carving knife, by all means. Most people, if you're like me at my house, my knives aren't the sharpest. So I actually like to have these serrated
Shame on
knives.
you, Chef. We're supposed to have sharp knives.
I used to, and I used to actually be very proud of that. But I think life happens, and sometimes you need a good, cheap, serrated knife. So when carving the turkey, we're going to have it towards us. And basically, the first thing we're going to do is to slice the skin between the thigh and the breast so that we don't tear it. We're going to separate the drumsticks if they're still tucked into the skin. And we're going to basically just give a little bit of pressure and push down, and then cut down both sides. And there's a little joint. You're going to run the knife just down that. Do the same thing in the opposite direction on the other side. If you have gloves, wear 2 gloves if the turkey is hot. That'll allow you to handle it. Don't forget the wishbone is here, so it's going to fight you a little bit when you go to cut it. If you want to save the wishbone for the ceremonial breaking of the wishbone, try not to cut it in half, but we'll come right down the top of the breast. There's what's called the keelbone or the sternum. We're going to make 2 slices down either side, and then we're going to just carefully cut down to the ribs and remove.
And it seems like you're pretty intuitive with this whole thing, Chef. Like you're just following along that breastbone, right?
It's all about the following the anatomy. So like we don't want to cut against bone. And that's something that, like, if you know the shape of a bird, it's the same as a chicken. You want to just kind of allow the knife to cut parallel to the bone.
Sure.
So we have now the carcass where the wings are. If you want to present the wings at the table, what I usually like to do is section them up. So we'll take the 2 wings. We'll remove the carcass. And so the wings, as I was saying, we'll section them up. People like that nice toothsome wing meat. That's where all the smoky flavor and the saltiness is. So we have the wing sections. We're going to go ahead and put those in our warm serving dish. The wing tips we'll save with the carcass. That's for your, if you're going to do any turkey leftover preparation, soups, tetrazzini, that type of thing. The next thing we're going to do is to separate the drumsticks. And the thigh, basically think of it as a triangle shape. So you have the flat edge where it came off of the bird, and then you have the 2 angles. What you want to do is just cut right there. So that's like the perfect triangle, and you won't have to fight to get your knife through that if you visualize the shape of the thigh meat and just cut right through the natural separation.
Super easy, chef. Very easy.
Voila. Now, for me, I like to kind of pull the thigh meat, or at least to take it off of the bone. And you can see that the turkey, since it's been brined and smoked, it has a little bit of, I want to call it a rosé or a pink color to it. And as you can see, as the way it's pulling apart, it's very fully cooked. It's just the natural process of salting and smoking does give you that kind of,
it brings out that color
hue to the meat. Yeah. And people at times can be a little bit concerned about that, but I can assure you that everything is very thoroughly cooked. As you can see, it's fall apart tender at this point. So we have the thigh bones out. You can slice. Or if you want to remove the skin on the opposite and do some pulled turkey, that pulled turkey thigh is good stuff also. If you like to leave the skin for the person that loves that,
it's me.
By all means. So we've got some pulled thigh, we've got some sliced thigh. And then the last thing that we're going to do, clean our board a little bit, is the turkey breast. Now, this is where the middle of it was, the two halves there. The wings go in this direction. What they say when you slice is that you're going to slice with the wings. And that's because the grain of the meat goes in that direction. So the wing is this way, you're going to cut this way because the grain goes that way. Okay, so we're going to start on this end and slice that way, but you could start on either end. Just like carving a brisket, understanding the grain of the meat is super critical if you want the best result. And the reason why we cut against the grain is just to make it as tender of a bite as possible. We want to shorten the muscle fibers. So you can see that we cut that perfectly to where the muscle is just that long. So when you bite down on it, you're not biting through the muscle.
It's going to give a nice toothsome
It's going to have
it's going to be soft.
some nice, yep, exactly.
Love
so
that.
There's that. So we're going to do the same thing here.
And I can hear the sound of that skin too, chef. I can still hear it. Like
it's got a little bit of texture to it still. So we'll have that there, knife underneath, and bring that. And this is how we'll bring that carved turkey to the table.